Hi, I'm Brittany Bryden. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me. Today's class will be all around the core canister and what that looks like when you come into positions like when you have hip extension or anytime you come into shoulder flexion. So you're going to need 2 blocks for this practice. When you have your props, let's get going. So you're going to start off on our backs. Just place one of those blocks to the side for a second. We're going to set up the legs first. So I want you to place a block between your thighs and you're going to walk your heels away from your glutes. So you have about 1.5 feet distance between your glutes and your heels. Then you're going to flex your feet. So heels on the ground, toes are up towards the ceiling. And as you hug into the block, I want you to feel like you're trying to pull your heels towards your glutes. So once you do that, you start to get your hamstrings involved. And once the hamstrings are involved, that will help to keep your pelvis in a fixed position. So don't lose this work you have in the legs. Then you're going to grab your block and you're going to place it between the hands and you're reaching the block up towards the ceiling. So you're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, I want you to reach the block up. Head comes off the floor. Shoulder blades will come off the ground. So you're protracting through the shoulder blades and you're trying to reach up as high as you can. And then lower down, you're going to tap the back and the head on the floor. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, reach up. Trying to get up as high as you can. And then inhale to lower down. And then reach up. One more time, lower down. And then reach up. So remember to keep pulling your heels towards your glutes. Now stay up and then take your arms back. So your biceps are going to frame the ears. Reach the block back, but keep your front ribs in and down. Ooh, so hard. Take the block back up, lower down. Take a breath in. And then exhale, reach. Shoulder blades off the floor. And then keep the chest up. I'm going to shoulder flexion, reach your arms back. Biceps frame the ears. Back of the pelvis stays connected to the floor. Take the block back up to the ceiling, lower down, tap. We'll do one more. Reach up, shoulder blades off the floor, arms reach back, press the palm of the hands into the block. You're gonna hold here for 3, 2, 1. Take the block up and then lower down. Whew. Hard one. Take the blocks off to the side. So now you're gonna walk your feet in a little bit closer. Take your hands to your frontal hip bones. So now I want you to just move through your pelvis. You're going to come into an anterior tilted pelvis. So those frontal hip bones are going to roll forwards. Tailbone will be on the ground and the back of the pelvis will lift off the floor. Now do the opposite. I want you to come into a posterior tilt. So now you're going to tuck under. Bring your frontal hip bones towards your low ribs so you'll feel the back of the pelvis connected to the floor. Do that again. Anterior tilt. Frontal hip bones go forwards. Tailbone on the ground. Posterior tilt. Tuck under. Now I want you to keep the posterior tilt. Hands are on the ground, framing your hips. And then begin to lift your hips up, press your feet into the floor. Don't let your knees swing off to the side. And make sure you're not just pushing up through the low back. And then you're going to lower down, tap your glutes to the floor. And then tuck your pelvis under, press your feet down, lift your hips up, bridge. And then take a look at your rib cage. Are you pushing up to the ceiling? Make sure you rein them in. And then lower down, tap. And then one more time, pelvis tucks under, lift your hips up. Then at the top, I want you to find that hamstring engagement. Again, feel like you're pulling your heels towards your glutes. And then you're going to take 5 counts to roll down to your spine. Glutes will land last for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Take both feet off the ground. Bring your knees over top of the hips. Shins parallel towards the ceiling. And then I want you to take a block and place it on the right hand as you reach your right arm up. Left arm's going to reach up as well, but the palm of the hand's going to face in. So take a breath in, and then like you just did, on the exhale, you're going to lift up, reach the block up towards the ceiling. Now you're not going to move on your right side at all, so you're going to keep reaching up with the block. Take your right leg forwards and reach your left arm back for dead bug. So inhale, open, back of the pelvis stays connected to the floor, and then exhale, you're going to pull it in. Inhale, you're going to open, right leg forwards, left arm back. Don't let the back of the ribs come off the ground, and then exhale, draw it in. One more, you're going to open up, continue to reach the block up to the ceiling. And then pull it in, lower down, and we'll switch sides. So block on the left hand, right arm up, take a breath in. Whew, exhale, let's go, pick it up. And then left leg forwards, you're going to reach your right arm back. Hover your leg, hover your thumb, and then pull it into center. If you love me now, you're going to love me later. Open up. Left leg forwards, right arm back, keep reaching up with the block. And then draw it in. One more time. Open up, holds. And then pull it in the center. Woo! Block to the side. Happy baby. Soles of the feet to the ceiling. Grab hold of the outer edges with the feet. The knees are wide and rock side to side. And then let go of the feet. Set the hands below the knees. You're going to rock up and down the spine. And then once you come up, you're going to swing your legs around. Make your way onto your hands and knees and table. So shoulders over top of the wrists. Knees are hip distance apart. And let's run through some cat-cows. So chest comes forward, send the tailbone up. Then you're going to round, push away from the floor. And chest forwards, tailbone up. And then round. One more time. And then round. Bring yourself to center, crown of the head forwards. You're going to keep your arms straight. Now lower the chest down towards the floor. You're going to bring your shoulder blades towards one another, so retract your shoulder blades. So I really want you to feel the difference between retraction and protraction. So now you're going to protract, spread the shoulder blades apart, and really try to push away from the floor without pulling your chin in towards your chest. Retract, shoulder blades towards one another. Remember to keep your arms straight. Then protract, spread them apart. One more time, retract. And then protract and pause there. So you're going to keep the protraction, tuck your toes under, and lift your knees just an inch off the floor. So make sure you're not sticking the butt up towards the ceiling. Pelvis is in neutral. If anything, it's slightly tucked. And you're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and then set your knees down. So now I call this spicy Brittany variation of bird dog. So you're going to grab your 2 blocks. One is going to be on the lowest height underneath your right knee. The other one is going to be towards the front of your mat. Turn it so that it's parallel to the front edge of your mat so that both hands can come to the block. So you're going to start by sending your left leg back. Start with the toes on the ground. So before you go any further, this is what I mean by born from the low back. So what I tend to see in a bird dog is this. Now I want you to do the opposite. I want you to think of it constantly pushing away from the floor. So think about more flexing through your spine rather than spinal extension. So protract through your shoulder blades, turn on your serratus anterior. Crown of the head is reaching forwards. Now don't lose that as you begin to lift your left leg up. It's not very high. It will not be high. So don't think about lifting it as high as you can. Think about how much control you have through your trunk. Then once you have that, you're going to take your right toes off. Ooh! And we're going to have one little bit, just like you did in your dead bug on your back. Same thing. You're going to reach your right arm forward. So opposite arm to leg is out. And you're not letting the chest sink towards the ground. Then begin to draw your elbow and knee in the center. And as you do that, don't think of a cat-cow. Just stabilize through the trunk, push away from the floor with your left arm. And then you're going to open up. So send your left leg back, reach your right arm forwards, and then reset. So push away, ribcage away from the floor, and then bring your elbow and knee in the center. It is hard. So stay with it, connect to the breath. And then you're going to open up. Notice where you're sinking, reset. You're going to do one more. So elbow and knee come in. And then open up. Good. So now bring both hands to the block. And then set your right toes to the ground. Bring your knee in towards your chest. Step behind the block. Then you're going to pick up the block with your hands. Now you're going to be in a low lunge. Reach your arms up in front of you. You're still with me? Keep your rib cage over top of the pelvis. Then tailbone down. And then you're going to reach the block forward, so protract with the shoulder blades. Then keep all that work and come into shoulder flexion, so reach the block up. So as the block goes up, don't let the ribs go forwards. And then bring the block back down. Take a breath in. We're going to find that again. Exhale, you're going to reach up. So keep reaching up. Your right toes are tucked under, so now you can lift your right knee just a little bit off the block, just a little bit. And then set the knee back down. Set the block down to the floor where it was. And we're going to switch sides. So slide your left knee back, and then take your block and place it underneath the left knee. So both hands on the block. Start with your right leg back, toes on the floor. And then push away from the ground as much as you can. Think about more rounding through your spine. Then begin to lift your right leg up. So as the leg goes up, don't lose anything that you set. If you lost it, then you lifted your leg too high. Take your left toes off the floor. And then reach your left arm forwards. Pull your left hand away from your right foot. Draw your elbow and knee in toward center. Nice and slow. And then open up. Push away from the ground. Draw your elbow and knee in. And then open up. And you might notice a difference between sides. Maybe one side feels a little bit easier than the other. Very normal. One more. Bring it in. And then open up. Set your hands to the block. Bring your left toes to the floor and then draw your right knee in towards your chest. Step your foot forwards behind the block. Pick up the block with your hands. Low lunge, reach the block forwards. So you're pressing the palm of the hands on the block. Block goes out in front of you, spread the shoulder blades apart, and then begin to reach your block up towards the ceiling. Biceps are going to frame the ear. And then lower down. Take a breath in. And then exhale, reach up. So as you reach up, try not to let your shoulders go up towards the ears. You're going to externally rotate from the shoulders. Keep your front ribs in. Now lift your left knee just to a hover above the block. And then set the knee down. And then as you come out of that, you're going to place the blocks to the side and out of the way. And make your way into your first downward dog. So hands are on the mat, tuck your toes under, pick your hips up and back, pedal out your legs. Bring your big toes to touch. Take your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the top knee, bring your heel in towards your glute, and then rotate your hips to the right. So think about all the work we've been doing. So don't turn this into a back bend. Think about your front ribs coming in, heel in tight as you send your knee up. Keeping your heel in, bring your knee in towards your chest, roll forwards, push away from the floor. So protract as much as you can and then step down between the hands. You're going to be on your fingertips. Bend your left knee, hover your knee. Pull your front foot to your back foot, so get that right hamstring engaged. Round to your spine and then keep that. And you're going to come into the low lunge, the one you just found with the blocks. Reaching arms up, bicep frame the ears. And then you're going to turn this into a runner's lunge. So straighten your back leg, lean the torso forwards, and sweep your arms back. So the left heel is going to be right above the toes. And now you're going to lean forwards, you're going to fly up into a warrior three. Left leg will lift, but think about what you've been doing. Your bird dog, dead bug, it all connects. So think front ribs in. Try not to lift your left leg up too high. Drop the left hip down a little bit. And then nice and slow, you're going to come up to stand. Bring your left knee towards your chest. Both hands are going to hug the knee in. And then reach your right arm up. Once you feel balanced, reach your left arm up. Palm the hands face in. Try not to lean back. Instead, lift up nice and tall. And then step your feet together. Bring your hands together in prayer. Whew. Both arms reach up. Take an inhale. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forwards. Take a halfway lift. Step back into downward dog. Bring your big toes to touch. Left leg to the ceiling. Bend your top knee, heel to glute. Rotate your hips to the left. Front ribs in. Then keep the heel towards the glute. Bring your knee in towards your chest. So roll forwards, bring your shoulders over top of the wrists. Protract through the shoulder blades. And then you're stepping down between the hands. You're up on your fingertips. Bend your back knee so your back knee hovers. Pull your front foot to your back foot. Low lunge. Arms go forwards and up. Envision the block is there. Runner's lunge. You're going to straighten the back leg. Reach your arms back. Right heel comes right above the toes. Hug your left hip back. And then lean forwards even more and fly up for warrior three. So right leg lifts without rotating your pelvis to the right, without borrowing from the low back. And then start to make your way up to stand. Both hands are going to catch the knee to help you find the balance first. And when you're ready, left arm up, palm of the hand faces in, right arm up, and then step your feet together, hands in prayer. Both arms reach up, hinge from your hips and fold forwards over top of the legs. Halfway lift, step back into a plank. So shoulders over top of the wrists. So starting up in the high push-up, protract through the shoulder blades. Begin to bend the elbows, lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Untuck the toes, walk your hands back a little bit so hands frame the ribs. Sorry. Elbows hug in. Baby cobra, chest goes forwards and up without forcing it with your hands. And then lower down. Child's pose. Send your bum back towards the heels. Knees can be wide or bring your knees closer together. You're going to fold forwards and then catch your breath. Take a big breath in and then exhale out. Nice and slow, you're going to roll up to the spine. Take one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a big breath in and then exhale out. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. So that was a short and quick one, but honestly, it is such a good one to help with posture, to help to understand how to stabilize through your torso. Really great to help you just move better, walk better, run better, whatever it might be, so that we understand how to not borrow from our lower lumbar when we move, when we come to hip extension or anytime we do shoulder flexion. Hope this helps. If you have questions about anything, please drop me a comment and see you again soon.